I'm Julia Wilburn. I am the communications manager at Tennessee Craft, and we are excited to welcome you to, I think this is our third statewide Zoom call for Tennessee Craft Week. So we are excited about all of the events, the virtual events that people have planned. We're excited to announce our Instagram contest winners today, and our spokesperson for this fall. I'm also excited to introduce a special guest, Diane Solg. Diane, wave. Diane is the executive director of American Craft Week, and so she's going to talk just a little bit about American Craft Week and kind of how Tennessee Craft Week fits into all that that process. So we're excited to have her here today. So I'm going to turn it over to Laurie Davis, I think, or perhaps Mary Grissom.
I was hoping that Diane could share a little bit about American Craft Week and the awesome opportunity that they offered everybody this morning about signing up for American Craft Week as well. Are you unmuted, Miss Diane?
I am. Hi, Laura.
Perfect.
I see a lot of familiar faces. It's nice to see you all. Tennessee, you just rock, honestly. You are the best. I don't know what we'd do without you. I'm so glad you joined. You have great management and you really stay on top of things, and we're so grateful for that. This morning we did send out a newsletter, a little email to the entire field. We realized that, that we never expected to have an American Craft Week where we were discouraging people from gathering together. I mean, it's the exact opposite of what we're all about. And yet we know this year that in so many places, that's not going to be possible. However, we really feel that we need American Craft Week more than ever. Artists, galleries, museums, festivals, fairs, they've all been closed down. People have been home, they're bored, they're frustrated, they're scared. And so we think it's American Craft to the rescue. Let's do something for a week that's exciting. Perhaps some of them can be live, many others will be online. You've done a great job in talking about how to do virtual events, and we're going to be doing more of that ourselves. We did offer today, because we know everyone is also financially hurting, that you can, any person or store or museum, whatever, can join American Craft Week without a charge this year. Usually it's by this time $35. Now, I want you to know we are hurting financially also, so that if anybody does pay, we're extremely grateful. However, we don't want money to be a deterrent this year. So that's what went out today. We are also in the process, we have juried our 2020 artist contest, which was art therapy in the time of COVID-19. I want to tell you, we had the most entries ever. Maybe it's because people were home and furloughed or closed or whatever, that they had an opportunity. Our entries were also wonderful. We chose more than we thought we would. And the website is in its very final, it should be out within a few days. We're just tweaking it right now. All the winners will be also recognized in the October issue of Handmade Business. So we're perking right along. I hope when the results of COVID come out, you all take a few minutes to see what people did, because many people tied their artwork closely to COVID, to either portraying the disease or as an act of joy, to compensate for COVID, or to reward a survivor, or to have a feeling of connection, even with people they did not know around the country. So there was a lot of feeling in this year's contest. So anyway, I'm anxious to hear all about what you're doing. And I thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you for being here. All right, drum roll. We had some awesome Instagram photos come in, and Mary Grissom is going to share the winners with everybody. Mary, are you still with us?
I think she disappeared.
Oh. Where did she
Mary,
go?
please could you do that? But I don't know where Mary is right now.
Well, while we're waiting for
Uh,
Mary, let's pop to the next subject.
There you go. Great idea.
Yes, and Miss Bonnie Matthews has some very special information about our honorary spokesperson for Tennessee Craft Week 2020. Bonnie, take it away.
Sure. Every year we have an honorary spokesperson for Tennessee Craft Week that helps increase our visibility of our artists to the general public. And this year I'm pleased to announce that our honorary spokesperson is Ketch Secor with Old Crow Medicine Show. Ketch is a founding member of Old Crow Medicine Show, which is a Grammy Award-winning group that has been inducted as members of the Grand Ole Opry. In 2017 and 2018, Old Crow Medicine Show released 3 critically acclaimed albums: The Best of Old Crow Medicine Show on Network, 50 Years of Blonde on Blonde on Columbia Nashville, which is a reimagined version of Bob Dylan's classic Blonde on Blonde album, and Volunteer on Sony Music Nashville. Ketch lives in Nashville, Tennessee, and that is his formal bio. But I know Ketch from the neighborhood. He's my neighbor. I originally met him when he reached out to me to help start the Episcopal School of Nashville, which is a school that he founded in our community. I wasn't able to work with him on that project. Ooh, we're screen sharing. I wasn't able to work with him on that project, but I actually have worked with him over the past few years at East Nashville Hope Exchange, which is a literacy nonprofit for underprivileged kids in our community. He has a couple of young children of his own, and he's very focused on education and building up kids for the future. He's written a children's book illustrated by a local Wilson County artist, and the Nashville Public Library has created a puppet show around that, and he's worked extensively with them on a couple of their puppet shows, actually. So he's very engaged in the artistic side of representing our traditions. One thing you might not know about Ketch is that he grew up outside of Johnson City. So he is from our Northeast region. And so he has a real sense of what life is like for Tennesseans from the inner city to the countryside. That really resonates with us as an organization, as well as that concept of taking the traditions of the past and bringing them into our modern life and making a better future for everyone. I think that that's really in line with what we're doing, so that's a very exciting partnership. So this summer, you know, bands like Old Crow would be touring, going to festivals. They do a lot of festivals, and that has all been canceled. So Ketch, being an innovator, has produced a weekly Facebook Live variety show out of his Heartland studio called the Heartland Hootenanny, and you guys should check that out on Facebook. That's on Saturday nights. I think it's now every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So that's really in the tradition of the Grand Ole Opry and Prairie Home Companion, which are programs that really got Old Crow out to their now millions of fans. And I think that if you look at it, you'll see how someone can use something like Facebook Live to continue to connect with audiences. That actually, he will communicate with fans during the live show, even if there are thousands on there. And sometimes bring on one guest and he's in the studio. And it's just a great way to continue to stay relevant and in front of your audience, and bring a really old tradition into a modern context. So I'm very pleased to announce Ketch Secor as our spokesperson for Tennessee Craft Week this year.
Yay. All right, Miss Mary, are you back with us?
Yes, I got sucked into the cyber vortex.
Oh, dear. We're glad you escaped.
Yes, it was hard, but I'm back.
Well, if you're ready, we would love to hear about the Instagram contest. This is big news.
Well, first of all, let me say that we had 130 photos submitted for the Instagram contest, and that represented artwork from 85 different artists. Personally, I want to say they were all fantastic photos. I have never seen such interesting photography. The artwork was fantastic. The scenery was fantastic. The compositions of the photos, the skill level of the photography, they were all just so outstanding. I wish we could have picked them all. And I literally said that this is the hardest thing. And I've judged a few art competitions in my day, and this was really difficult to decide what was best. But with that said, we did pick the winners. So I'm gonna start by mentioning our 10 Merit Award winners, and these people are listed in alphabetical order. And let me say that a Merit Award winners will receive a $25 gift certificate for art supplies. But the first Merit Award winner is Mary Bartholomew. She's clay, and she's from Memphis. Rose Conway, clay, from Memphis. Audrey Deal McEver, clay, from Nashville. Vicki Love, leather, from Knoxville. Tammy O'Connor, glass, from Tullahoma. Ben Patty, wood, from Nashville. Pat Raleigh, fiber, textile, from Tullahoma. Mary Rudin, fiber, textile, from Knoxville. Angela Schneider, fiber, textile, from Memphis. And Amy Sterling, clay, from Nashville. 10 Merit Awards. And I know we scrolled through those quickly. Julia, where will these be listed that everyone could see all of the photographs?
So if you go to our Instagram page, and the hashtag is hashtag TCW contest 2020, you can search for them that way. They will also be available soon on our website, and I'll try to also share them in social media and the e-news. So we'll kind of put them all over the place.
Well, I encourage everybody to take a look at these. They are just so interesting and beautiful. So now for the three top winners. Third place winner is Thomas Spake, glass, out of Chattanooga. And I think that glass piece is sitting in front of his grandmother's hydrangeas. I think so beautiful. Thomas will win a $200 gift certificate to Jerry's Artorama. Second place winner is Rick Cannon, wood, from Memphis. Rick's going to get a $250 gift certificate from Cheap Stuff Art Supplies. And then the grand prize winner is Asia Mathis from clay, from Nashville. Fabulous photo, fabulous artwork. And Asia's going to win a night at 21C Art Museum Hotel in Nashville, dinner at a Nashville restaurant, and a gift certificate for art supplies. So congratulations to all the winners, but really congratulations to everybody who submitted. And we love your work, love the effort you put into it, and we just plan to promote all the photography the best we can. Thank you.
Yay. I have to agree with Mary. We were just bowled over by the quality of the photos this year. And one of the cool things was that each artist was asked to tag both TennesseeVacation.com, because that's our local tourist development department, and it gives them a chance to see the talent that's coming out across the state. And they often repost photos that have a very scenic background. So we're going to let them know who the winners are and the honorable mentions, and we're hopeful that we'll see some of those reposted by them. And we also asked everyone to like and follow American Craft Week, because everything we do is synchronized with all of their activities. And this gives them the opportunity to share the photos again on a national level. So it's just a win-win for everyone. So thank you so much. And before we go, we wanted to just go over one last thing. raise your hand if you have submitted your event. One hand,
There's
two
one
hands,
here.
3 hands. Okay, I need to see everybody's hand up. You have got to register something, all right?
I will say Greg Bell's is not on video, but Greg, I'm raising Greg's hand for him.
Okay, a virtual hand.
It's
Okay.
virtual hand.
That's the story of our life this
Right.
year. But anyhow, y'all, do it. The deadline is August 1 for us to guarantee all the social media backup and promotion that we have promised you. So put that event up. Now, you might say to me, I still don't know what to do. So here's a couple of things, and then I'm going to give you some resources to back that up. All right, what can you do as one artist showing your wares? Well, you've got this 10-day week. We're calling it a week. You got 10 days to get yourself promoted, and we're going to promote you. So you can do a virtual tour of your studio. Get your significant other to follow you around your studio and do a little movie. You can walk around with your camera and show everyone if you don't want to be on the screen, and share what goes on in your studio. That's an event. It's a virtual event. So put it up there. And if you put it on Facebook, there's a way that you can click on the little right-hand menu. It has 3 little dots, boop, 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 and you can pin it to the top. So it'll be the first thing everybody sees when they come to your Facebook page, all right? It's a self-advertising promotion that you don't even have to pay for. So maybe you have an online shopping experience. Maybe you put a page up on Facebook as an event, and you have your 10 top things that you would desperately love to sell this fall, and you make a little photo album where people can go through it and then reach out to you. That's an event. You can invite people to a Zoom meeting and talk about your process. You could also do a little video of how you do certain techniques. Now, of course, you don't want to give away the farm because it's your art and it's unique to you, but I'm sure there's things that you could share for newbies that would be so delighted to get that kind of information. Collaborate with another artist and do something together. You could see if there's any empty storefronts in the downtown areas of your little downtown and see if you could put something up in the store windows that are empty. You could see if you could get in there and do a demo, you know, and let everybody know you're going to be demoing. You be behind glass, nobody can breathe on you. You could ask your local library if they would do a gallery of your work or put it in a display case, and then you can go down there and you can show each piece and invite everyone to come to the library and they can come and see your piece. That's an event. So there's really a lot of things. You could do an outdoor pop-up. Maybe there's a restaurant that's popular in town and they're doing takeout, and you could do a pop-up tent and have a few things on a table for people to come and touch and see while they're picking up their food. Something else you could do is offer an online class. You know, maybe charge $5 for a couple of quick, down and dirty, simple techniques. And so you're offering your expertise for $5 or $10. That's an event. We saw the Clay Lady, they put together a little DIY kit where they pre-did different components, and then you purchase the kit and you put it together, and now you have crafted something. So you could do wind chimes. You create the base and the little chimes, and then they put it all together, or they can paint it. You could do things where people are able to do a craft that you presented for them. That's an event, all right, that you're doing that. The other thing is all of these events have to be registered on our website. Why is that important? A, we're going to create an event for you. We're going to promote it. B, it means you get a little dot right on that roadmap. And you're going to be up there for everyone to see, so that people know that you're from this town. You're in this part of the the state, all right? So you've got to get up there so we can make sure everyone knows what you're doing, where to find you. And if you don't want to use your home address, you can just put your city. I mean, or if you don't want us to use your street address, just tell us. We'll just put that you're in Nashville or Lebanon or Cookville if you don't want them coming and banging on your door. I understand that. My craft area here, I would not want anyone to come into because it's a disaster. So now, if those don't help you, I want to let you know that Julia and Bonnie put together a series of really nice videos. They're on Facebook. Julia, are you going to be putting them on the website?
They are on our YouTube channel. They're on Facebook. Channel. They're on Facebook if you want to go like sort through, but yes. They are available on our YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com and you search for Tennessee Craft, they are, I think, the first 4 videos. So they're right there at the top. So Bonnie and I had a lot of fun making them. Neither of us like to see ourselves on camera, but we feel like we did okay. So.
Yeah, it's a really great way to just review. They really talked in depth how to do it, how to utilize the software. I mean, they're really trying to make this easy for you. The last thing that you could do also is if you are at some event that is still going on a limited basis, you can use that as an event as your event because you're participating in it. So it doesn't have to be just yours personally. But of course, everything has to be happening in Tennessee, and it has to happen October 2nd through the 11th. All right. So we hope that you'll watch the videos again, and the next time we have a Zoom meeting, I need to see hands, everyone's hands, because you registered your event. Okay. All right. Do you all have any questions?
We had a couple of questions come through the chat, and I just want to make sure that everybody saw those. Angela Schneider asked if studio tours can be recorded or do they need to be live on Facebook? They can be either, whatever you're comfortable with, but as Bonnie pointed out, Facebook Live gets more views in the Facebook algorithm. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, then you might want to consider it. Or you could, like I said, you could record and then just release it during Tennessee Craft Week if you're not comfortable going live. And then the Scenic City Clay Arts, they already have take-home clay kits, which is wonderful. So they can kind of maybe create an event around those. So does anybody else have any other questions?
I'm going to unmute myself rather than type in.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask about, I know that Cookeville Art Studio and the library currently are closed, and they were going to be doing some things for Tennessee Craft Week. So how do we plan on that when we don't know if they're actually going to be open by the time Tennessee Craft Week comes around?
What is open? What is open in your town? Is there any?
Can I chime in? I'm also in Cookeville. So that was going to be kind of my question too. I think thinking more along the lines of online would be the way to go right now. I wouldn't even consider trying to do something. I mean, that's at your own risk. Look at the reality right now. Our numbers are rising. On top of that, Cookeville's been having a lot of intense political things going on. So my question is more of, okay, sure, we can put on a solo thing or even in a group, but speaking for the Plateau chapter, I'm curious what else y'all are looking to do for us as members besides encouraging us to put on something that I understand you're going to be doing the promotion for, but are we still expected to be having the craft fair? Because in my mind, I know I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to put myself in that position. 1, for safety reasons. 2, who's going to show up because they might not feel safe. So I'm just curious because I decided another craft fair reached out and they canceled their in-person craft show, and they ended up having to move it to October 10th and 11th, but they're using an online platform where it creates online, basically virtual booths for you to be live. And then it's called, I don't know if you've heard of it, I just think it might be something that Tennessee Craft could look into. It's a platform called Hopin, Hopin, and it's a virtual space where they're running it. They're going to encourage people to still buy tickets. And instead of you being, you know, in a craft outdoor thing where people are coming in, they can still come talk to you virtually both of those days. And then either you as an artist, if you don't have an online platform for selling your work yet, it's through Peters Valley, by the way. So Peters Valley is hosting. You can pay like $25 extra for them to have a certain amount of your work to sell through them, or they'll just be you'll be sending the buyers directly to your website. So I just thought that was a really great example of an organization that is like really trying to make a craft fair happen and make sales. Yeah, Bonnie.
We are actually researching all those options right now to figure out what would be best for our artists. But all those options are currently on the table, and we're talking with some of those vendors right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to know.
Yeah.
I was just curious because the craft, like Tennessee Craft Week for me personally, like, and this is just me, like, I think what you guys are doing is great, but it's all very overwhelming. Being a young artist who was only in their second year, and I've lost 8 shows.
Yep.
And I'm currently trying to get ready for a class that I'm teaching online. So to try and do, when I'm part of an organization, that it's on us to really to give you those plans to then get promoted, I think is great. But I'm just was wondering what else you were doing to provide an easy way for us as artists to really show what we're doing or give us that sort of access. That was just what I was wondering. So I'm glad you're looking into it.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, we are looking at all the online options and what makes sense for, both our members and our fair exhibitors to continue to get you out to the public in a way that we can't necessarily do. We can't do right now physically. And then in the future, who knows how long, there will be some constraints, large or small, on what we can do.
Yeah.
One concrete idea that I got from an artist that might be something that really anyone probably in the state could pursue in your communities are your local farmers markets. Because a lot of those are still happening because people have to buy food. That's an essential business that kind of stays a business that stays open. But one of our artists in Kingston Springs was telling me that several of the artists that don't even typically sell in that environment have started going to their Saturday morning farmers markets. So I think Timothy Weber and Bebo, John Paul Daniel was the artist who told me about this. He's a folk artist. Are going every Saturday morning and selling. But you could create, even if there's 1 or 2 other artists in your community that, you could routinely show up, but you could also do it during Tennessee Craft Week. And typically October is that early October time is a really busy time at the farmer's market with all of the fall produce coming in. That's a time that a lot of people, it's cooler, people are wanting to get out. So that's maybe something my hometown is 6,500 people and they have a farmer's market every weekend. So that's something I would consider for everyone. Yeah. And we'll probably continue to go, but outdoor events that are smaller scale like that, where you can kind of control the flow of the crowd, might be something to consider.
Yeah. I also really like the idea of possibly collaborating with artists across the state in a virtual environment. I think that could be really cool. As far as, have, somebody who's in Memphis collaborating with a friend who's in Cookeville and a friend who is in Johnson City to create an event, to create some kind of, even just like a back and forth dialogue, talking about your processes, that kind of thing. And, we encourage you to be creative in creating these events. And like we said, it doesn't have to be anything huge. It can be something as simple as a studio tour. But think about who you know across the state and who might be interested in collaborating on a studio tour for all three of you, or a collaborative project, or something like that. So it's really I think that the virtual aspect of it has given us some other options that maybe we didn't have in the past when Tennessee Craft Week was just in-person events. So yeah, I would encourage you to kind of think outside the normal bubble.
I want to chime in on that real quick, that it's exposure. And when you can't get out in front of the public and do a show, this gives you a way to stay in front of people and to remind them you're there, and to show your work and encourage sales. So you have to put yourself out there in order to be seen. And that's what Tennessee Craft Week is. It's a vehicle for exposure for you, and particularly in this difficult time when it's hard to get exposure.
Rose, did you want to say something? You keep unmuting yourself.
Yeah. I was just waiting for
Like Rose is like, me.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking over the weekend, Frederic, the president, and I met with the local gift shop, and they are host to over 100 artists. So very much an art supporter here in Memphis. And we talked about our event, and we're gonna have the back room, like 400 square feet. It's almost gonna be like a gallery show of sorts. And then we started talking about what it could look like maybe we're still quarantined or whatever, the case may be. And then we started talking about all the options that you and Julia have been, making YouTube videos about, how, we could go live. We could, we could totally turn this into a virtual event if we needed to. And he also chimed in and said, and you know what? I mean, that shop has really been doing well, even during COVID, because of the clientele that they have. And they also use their social media as we use our Instagram and things like that. So we have so my question is actually, we're going to be submitting 2 events for that. One is going to be a reception, if that happens. And then we're also going to have the event for the whole week. Now the reception, we also plan to do like a Instagram live or a Facebook live during that time as well. There's that. And then we also thought, okay, if we're just setting it up for, it just goes into a virtual event, where we walk through, we highlight some pieces, things like that. We kind of have a virtual gallery. Should we add that on our event that we submit, or just put a little, a little star and say, this may also be a virtual event, or virtual event possible, options planned, or how do you suggest we handle that? Or should we just do even a third event? I don't do a third event.
Yeah, because the more events you have, the more presence you have, and
Okay.
the more marketing that will come to you, and the more attention. So yeah, you can break it down into as many components as you like. We don't have
Okay.
a limit on how many events you can submit. And each one will get attention as Lori pushes this out in terms of press releases and marketing. So do separate events.
Okay, great. We'll do that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any questions or suggestions? We're kind of nearing the end of our time.
One of the things that we talked about was, so just in a nutshell, that Zoom, as you can see here, is really good for big groups of people, and Instagram allows conversations, and Facebook is like you talking to someone. And like, just thinking about Bree, I know so the work that Bree does as a jeweler is very different than the work that my neighbor does to make these earrings. So like on Instagram, having a couple of people talking about processes, I think would be really enlightening for me. And it would take, the pressure off of you having to talk the entire time. And it would be something unique, you know, like you in your studio that, you know, is, it could happen anytime, whereas like a conversation or, you know, that sort of like panel of sense tends to be something that is an event or a one-off. So that might be something else to consider, is just taking a little bit of the pressure of, oh my gosh, I have to fill 30 minutes, you know, of content, sharing that with someone else or a team of people who are in the same medium or who can somehow react to each other in some way. I mean, it could even be like about something not specific to how, you know, your technical. Sarah Cohen was on here earlier, and I know she's really interested in some of the theoretical discussions about the role of craft in the world right now. And why can't you create an event about that, where you're having, you know, a discussion amongst yourselves about what is the relevance of craft in the modern context in the world that we have right now? That could be a Tennessee Craft Week event.
It could, and I think an easy way to do that is to find 2 or 3 of your friends.
Yeah.
And you all decide you're going to do it Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. And then you Instagram that information out and chat about, join us this Thursday at 11 a.m. and we're going to talk about the value of craft, you know, in Tennessee, in our city, in your life. And you get that out and chat about it. If you have Twitter, you can drive everyone from Twitter to your Instagram. And once you have 3 people saying, hey, we're going to talk at 11, pick a couple of strategic hashtags, Craft Matters, Tennessee Craft, use our Tennessee Craft Week hashtag. And then at 11 o'clock, you all get on and you start having conversation back and forth, and people will join. So, but you want to let them know ahead of time. You kind of have to prime the pump to get that going. But that's a great way to do stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming on today. We hope that this has been helpful, and congratulations to all our Instagram contest winners. We're excited. And then Bonnie, thank you for introducing Ketch as our spokesperson for this fall. So we're excited to get to work with him. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. Let us know if there's anything else that we can do for you. And we will send out the date of the next Zoom call pretty soon.
We will.
And
thank you, Diane, for joining us.
Thank you,
My
Diane.
pleasure.
Yes.
We'll put our events on American Craft Week. We so appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Larry.
We
My pleasure.
love American Craft Week. Yay, Diane.
Thanks, Diane. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.